Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. It's Sunday evening, and we are here with the HPEC Round 5, Season 3 at the Fuji Speedway. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Glad you can make it. It's such a nice weather here in Blighty. It's amazing that these guys have even turned in at all. I'd imagine them to be in a garden on their 5th pint, eating an undercooked burger, putting their life at risk. But no, they're out there for our entertainment. Skyjacker says, hello, beautiful. He hasn't seen me, really. He's just guessing. Flashman says, evening all. So there is Skyjacker. Let me get you up to date. Their HPEC is our endurance. Oh, look at this. That controller curse has come back. I've gone from red to black controller due to, excuse me, I heard my mic clicking in and out on something. So I'm trying to delicately place the controller. I might have to abort with the black one. Come on, stop it. I think I fixed it. Let me just make sure the sound is okay. Hello. Okay. Well, it's not bouncing around all over the place anymore, so it did something. Right then. So Daz, let me get you up to date. What is the HPEC? I want to put my controller down and hope it doesn't go wild. There we go. Boom. Everything's good. See? Who said hitting things doesn't work? I think I might have dented her table. Don't tell her. Right. HPEC, where are we? We're at Fuji. We're round 5. This is for real. We're live. This is happening now. HPEC Season 3 info. Boo. HPEC is our only endurance championship in the Group 1 cars. They race for 90 minutes. The grid is lined up of the reverse of the championship because we got no time for qualifying, man. We got to get on. It's a 90-minute race, for hell's sake. And there's not much more to say, really. They used the prototypes from the year 2012 up. We've got Porsches, we've got Toyotas, we had Audis. I think Jim coming back has brought the Audi back into the fold. There it is, beautiful. BWT sponsorship. We missed Jim for a couple of races, but he seems to be back with a bang. Second fastest in practice at the moment, but him, Daz and Rivixter are the only guys out there at the moment. There's Rivs in his BWT Toyota, is it? There you go. So yeah, you get the endurance. They use the Group 1 endurance cars. They're at Fuji Speedway, which is 2.835 miles, 16 turns, and it's going to be 90 minutes of racing, and the time of day is 04:45. Not much else to tell you there. I'll get to the time. They said they were letting Group 3 cars in. We opened it up to Group 3 cars, but I haven't seen a Group 3 car yet, so I don't know if anyone took it up. So far, it's all Group 1 cars, so that seems how it is. In the chat, Pat saying, hello. A sunrise race in the land of the rising sun, says Pat. Racer Brown saying hello everyone, and Mama Side saying hello all, hi thingy, have a good one everyone, and Skyjacker saying no Group 3 takers. Boom, go on then, who needs you anyway? So I think we're hoping someone else, a newbie's going to show up, or newbie to VRC. I don't know about GTSport, M4181, but the last I heard, him and Skyjacker were trying to connect in a friendship kind of way. I'm going to tell you the table, honestly. So, after 4 rounds, the table, it looks like this. And remember what positions I say they're in, because the grid lines up reverse of this table. So, Matt Psycho is at the top of the table in first place with 72 points. Binko in second on 64 points. Racer Brown is third on 54 points. Higher Graham fourth on 51 points. Skyjacker is fifth on 49 points, with Daz sixth on 41 points. Rivixter seventh on 27 points, and Jim is eighth on 21 points. Pat ninth on 21 points, and Rido is in 10th on 16 points. Cymex is 11th on 12 points. Kale is 12th on 12 points, and Pop Motorsport is 13th on 7 points, but some of those guys haven't taken part in a lot of the rounds, so you're best off going to our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, where you can check out the tables yourself, because the drop scores do come in at the end, and in that top 3 I can already see that Racer Brown has missed a round at St. Croix, so he's already dropped his scores, so that'll be interesting when them top 2 drop their scores. They'll all get closer together. In the chat, Pat saying 5 minutes left to have a pre-race custard donut. Yes, get it down, the Skyjacker saying a newbie is a group 3, but so far obviously a no-show at the moment. And Pat saying group 3 has arrived. Looks nice, this one. Oh, what? Is there a group 3 there? Have they got a drive on their own? Hybrid group 1 would only be you in the group 3s. Ah, this is M4. Oh, what a shame for M4. He's turned up wanting a group 3 race, but he's the only one. No others want to go, and it's good. He's got a nice Welsh Dragon on that one. I would have loved it. You can just transfer that, my friend. What am I going to call? I'm going to call him Me4, even though it's M4. M418, M418. These are not the droids you are looking for. So Binko is out there. We're going to have to sort that out because he can't race on his own. It's not a problem if not, BRC says, Skyjacker says, but it's going to be a lonely race for him all on his own. He could quickly grab a Toyota or a Porsche. If you can hear me, M418, M418, grab yourself a Porsche. They seem to be doing okay. I told you the table, no need to go through that again. I've got no more information. Let's just sit back and enjoy this. How's your Sunday going? It's been a corker, hasn't it? Lovely, lovely weather. Couldn't ask for no more. So Binko is out there. Let's have a little play with these buttons. Binko, car 49 in the Porsche, the relentless Porsche. And Daz there is in his Porsche also. Here at Fuji, we should get on board with someone. Fuji is such a cracking track. There you go, Binko's going to take us around. Here we go. On board with Binko for a lap here at Fuji. Skyjacker in the chat says, I'll jump in a group 3, have one ready. So, if all else comes... Oh no, M4's going for group 1, maybe, possibly. Cracking stuff. So Binko, we've just got around the first corner into the left-hander, around, just easing on the accelerator, the right-hander ever turning, just killing the speed just at the end of the corner, but then we've got a heavy brake into a real slow left-hander. This is going to be interesting. Now the tyres are going to last, and how they're going to be able to fuel conserve. We've seen a couple of them trying to do the one-stops here. Skyjacker being, well, he's tried the one-stops. He always goes over halfway. Is it with a chicane? Oh, that's nasty. It's with the chicane. So, real tough one for him. I don't think there's going to be a lot of fuel conserving being able to be done here. I think we might see more pit stops for your pleasure as we come up round the final part of the lap. Up the hill, over the brow, left hand we go. We wait 5 minutes, let M418 get used to car, that's fine. And then around the right-hander, back onto the straight, and he boots it. Boom. All the way down, up to the line. And Matt Psycho is off for a comfort break. And there he goes, a 126.893 around here, Fuji. And a tidy lap from Binko in the relentless car. So, what does that mean? Has he mixed his... Oh, he's got mediums on the front and softs on the back. Interesting. It's a nice looking car though. Oh. Look, we stayed out there. How weird is that? I've never stayed on the track when the settings have been changed. I always thought it just booted you back to lobby, but here I am. I survived. I survived the cull. I'm still standing. I've lost everything though. Yeah, press that button, it comes back. Right, while I'm still here, we'll try and sort out the cockpit pit view so it doesn't catch me out when I'm around and about. And there we go. M4, he's on his way out. He's got mediums. Yes, so the rules of this, the tyres, they can use, I think, pretty much softs, mediums and hards. Hards, we've seen a couple of guys tried the hards. It did not go all that well for them. They're very slow tyres, so they usually stick to the mediums, but they're allowed to use softs only once, for one stint only in the race. Hence why everyone's chose mediums to practice on. I think everyone will start on the mediums and see how the race progresses to see if they will use those soft tyres. M4 out there at the moment, shaking down the car. Rivixter, I'm telling you, I think Rivixter has deep-seated issues, because it's always a joke with Rivixter. Rivixter, if you ever need someone to talk about it, man, I'm always here for you. You know, it's always a joke, but there's something deep below that comedy. I know. I've watched Friends. I've psychoanalyzed Chandler. G is on his way. Oh my words. The IRG, I think that's what he means. And if he can get into the room with a solid connection, then this, my friends, just went from a party of 3 or 4 to a party of 5. We've got Binko, we've got Matt Psycho, we've got Racer Brown. These are at the absolute sharp end of these Group 1 cars. M4 is a non-entity so far. We're not sure. He's got the biz. He's got a lovely livery on that car, so he's gone a little wide in the first corner. He's just got to get used to it. Poor soul was thinking he was going to turn up to a Group 3 race, and he got absolutely shocked into a Group 1 car. So he's just getting used to the braking on that bad boy. It'll come to you, man. There is Pat. It's a lovely looking Golf, that one. His Toyota Golf livery, number 4 car. He's out there. We're a little bit delayed. We're letting M4 get up to M4. That's got to be a second account, isn't it? It's going to turn out that's like Max Verstappen or something. He's just, you know, I'm going to call him Max in lieu of a real name. Ready. So we got the ready. M4. Let's see if I can influence M4 quite early on with an R, and he'll say, oh, that's what they do. There you go. Sneaky, eh? Thingamajig and Daz both in there with cap R's. Pat with a K. You're confusing the soup K. Pat stirring up the nest. Binko and Jim on board with the Empire. We will destroy the rebel scum. Terrorists. That's what those rebels were. Do you know, on that Death Star, both of them, they had construction workers. They had families. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who died that day that did not need to die because Luke Skywalker had daddy issues. Come on. Open your eyes, people. See the truth. Right, HPEC's just starting, so let's get ready. It's my Star Wars rant over. Good. So a rolling start with a reverse of the championship. M4 gets the fun of being at the front. Pat second, Jim third, Rivixter fourth, Daz fifth, Skyjacker sixth, Racer Brown seventh, Binko eighth, and Matt Psycho, I guess, is ninth. What a beautiful shot that is. As we wait for the machine. Go Team Jim, Flashman, putting his colours out there for the Jim Bob. These cars are a struggle to keep under control. 90 minutes of gorgeous racing ahead of us. We have got an M4 leads them away from Pat with Jim there in third, Rivixter fourth. Then you've got Daz a fifth with Skyjacker in sixth, Binko in seventh, Racer Brown in eighth, and Matt Psycho in ninth. And M4 managing to keep it in the track for the first corner. Cracking stuff. He keeps the lead. Excuse me, from Pat, but Jim is attacking. Jim's got that inside line, but no, he tucks back in behind Pat as they make their way around. Daz looking a little wobbly over the curbs, and he's going for a move on Rivixter, is it? No, Rivixter. Oh, it's Binko. the green car, sorry. Binko up alongside Rivixter, but Rivixter's giving it full beans whilst Daz is there in fourth. Binko finally gets up ahead of Rivixter. Someone kicking up dust in the lead there. M4 still holding ahead of Pat with Jim in third. Jim's going to go for a move though. Jim moving on Pat, and Pat's on the outside there. There's nothing he can do, but Jim backs out of it, and that gives Daz the opportunity to have a look up the inside. Sat on board fourth place. Daz at the moment behind Rivixter fifth. Oh, it looks like Binko's had a big one. We'll have to go back and have a look. Find Binko. Where is Binko? Where is Binko? Ninth. And go. So there is Binko in fifth place. He's going for a move on Rivs. We saw that. He's done a fine job, and oh no, the accelerator just went down a little too heavy for him, and he had to overcorrect and get back on track, and there he goes. Skyjacker meanwhile down at the back of the pack. We don't know what happened to Skyjacker. This is shaping up to be some race. Pat now has taken the lead from M4 with a Rivixter ahead of Jim. Jim losing a place to the two BWT cars. Matt Psycho now up into fifth, the championship leader, ahead of Racer Brown. Skyjacker is seventh ahead of Binko. So Daz has had a bad one. Oh dear. I don't know what happened to Daz. Let's see if we can catch it. No, we cannot. So Daz drop into the back of the field, but 90 minutes of racing is a hell of a long time, and anything can happen in 90 minutes. But meanwhile, Pat leading 2.5 seconds from M4, but M418 has got Rivixter reading his exhaust pipes, his sponsors on his back wing. He's having a look, and oh my lord, it looks like there was a little contact and gave Jim the opportunity to get up the inside of M4, but M4 defends. He defends in his Castrol Porsche Toyota. He's new. We've got to get used to it. Oh, and he's out wide now, giving Jim the opportunity to grab that second spot, and he's up into second spot whilst M4 fights that Toyota ahead of Racer Brown, but Racer Brown's up alongside also, and M4, oh my word, it's a bad couple of corners for him, but he's up ahead. Where did Racer Brown go? Oh, Racer Brown's tucked underneath, and M4's gone off the road, but don't give up yet, mate. Rivixter's up into fourth, and M4 gets back on the track just behind Rivixter to grab a tow. Let's have a look at it. Oh wow, Rivixter's car looks awesome inside, and there you see a Rivixter getting a tow from Racer Brown in fourth. M4 down to fifth. Oh, Rivixter's going for a move, oh my word, but he's backed out of it there, and oh, M4 was in there somewhere. My word, M4 trying to make a move as well. Rivixter's now in third. Matt Psycho in fourth. This is crazy stuff, guys. It's 90 minutes. Look after your fuel. Look after your tyres. Binko, they're racing like it's a sprint. My word, Racer Brown's ended up down into seventh. What happened to Racer Brown? Racer Brown behind M4. We're on the wrong person here at the moment. Oh, he's already down to seventh. Whatever happened to Racer Brown has happened. And my gosh, they're fighting hard out there. So let's have a quick sell down. Pat is leading from Jim. 5.6 second lead for Pat at the moment. Jim is less than a second ahead of the Rivs, with Matt Psycho now up into fourth. Binko in fifth place, with Racer Brown very close behind in sixth. M4 has dropped down into seventh place, with Skyjacker up into eighth, only a second behind M4, and Daz is playing catch up at the back of the field, some 11.8 seconds behind them guys, but with no one around to race, it should come back to him. But he won't get the tow, but Pat's not been getting the tow, and he's 7 seconds nearly ahead of Jim. Now it's Rivixter. Rivixter's dropped down the field a little bit, with Jim moving up into second, Matt Psycho moving up into a podium position, and it looks like Matt Psycho's got a great tow from Jim at the moment, and he's going down into the first corner. He's having a look up the inside of the Audi. Can he make a move in his Porsche? He's up the inside, and there's not much Jim can do from there. He cannot defend on the outside, and it looks like Matt's side. No, now Jim's got the inside line, and that is the way it is done. Thank you very much. Jim maintains that second spot ahead of Matt Psycho. Riv is falling back into the Binko. The Binko on the move up the inside, and he's got it. He's nailed it. But there, Rivixter up the inside. He's not an easy man to overtake. Oh my lord, it looks like Jim's on out wide, and Matt Psycho now is up into second place. Wow, this race is never ending. 7.5 second. Pat has got that lead for. Stay calm, Pat, stay chilled. Rivixter has, oh, he's really missed his braking points. He's jumped up through the field and he's off the track. He's trying to make his way back on, but he's been placed back on by the computer. with Pat still leading 7-8 seconds now. Matt Psycho has got some laps to get under his belt, and he's got Binko chasing him around with Jim down there in fourth. Whoa, Jim sideways, and Racer Brown wants to get through as well. He's got a championship to think about. M4 is in a battle with Skyjacker down there for 6th and 7th. Skyjacker going wide in that line, trying to get that under line for the overtake, and he makes it stick, and he's through. Is he though? Because M4 is backing in for the toe, and M4 will be trying to come back at him down this straight. He's out now early on to try and make the move side by side as they're going down the long straight here at Fuji, who is the last on the brakes. M4's got the inside line, but no, brakes a little bit more than Skyjacker and ends up behind. Pat then 7.5 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho did a 28.2 his last time around, and a 28.0 for Pat. Come on, Pat. And Binko in third, chasing them down in a 28.5, all on the medium tyres. Jim in fourth, ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown really dogging the back. Oh, he's made a move. He's made the move. Oh no, he's not. He's just pulled out to have a look. In car, it looked like he was making the move on Racer Brown, on Jim then, but he tucked back in. Here we go. Sitting on board with a Racer Brown in the Toyota TS030, the 2012 car, versus the Audi 2016 car, and there is Racer Brown going out wide, trying to get that faster line out the corner to try and attack the Audi, but the Audi has got good straight line speed. Here he goes. Ooh, the car's just wobbling under acceleration. They look side by side to me. No, Racer Brown just edging it ahead of the Audi slipping in behind to grab a toe. So Pat 6.2 seconds, a 28.3 last time around for Pat. Matt Psycho doing a 26.9. He's got it down to 6.3 seconds. He's ahead of Binko by 1.1 second. Binko doing a 26.8, which is the fastest of the race so far on lap 6. 1 hour and 22 minutes remaining. We are only 8 minutes into this race, believe it or not. Racer Brown in fourth. He's flying. He's got himself ahead of Jim. He's pulled away by a second. Jim's got Skyjacker only 8 tenths behind him. Where did Skyjacker come from? Skyjacker on an absolute push here in the Group 1 Toyota TS050. Boom. M4 7 seconds short of Skyjacker now. He's got Rivixter. Rivixter's down in 8th place. He's only 4 tenths behind the debutant. M481, M481. Ooh, Rivixter a bit late on the brakes there for M4, and that's helping Daz. He's only 5 seconds behind this battle. So Daz is going to get back into this and get some good points. Pat still leading, but it's only 4.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho is reeling him in, and he's bringing Binko along with him. 2.8 seconds behind Binko is Racer Brown. Did a 27.9 his last time around. This time he's going to do a 26.8. So he's on pace with Binko, who did a 26.8 last time around, and Matt Psycho doing a 26.5, which is the fastest one of the race, fastest lap of the race, as we see his tail end wobbling around under acceleration there. This is a fantastic racing up in the front. Then we've got Skyjacker ahead of Jim, only 2.8 seconds behind Racer Brown. He's not out of this race, and we've seen Skyjacker can conserve fuel like no other. We've not even looked at the fuel tanks yet. I did guess ahead in practice they may not get an opportunity to fuel save here. I suppose they could if they're using the toe, sitting behind someone close down the straight, but if they're like someone like Pat, no one punching a hole for him, he's going to have to burn through his own fuel. 3.3 seconds now ahead of Matt Psycho. It's like the floodgates have been opened and he's just waiting for the tidal wave, and he's off the track. Don't listen to me, Pat. Concentrate on your racing, my friend. 2 seconds. Matt Psycho is there. He can see him. Binko is only less than a second behind Matt Psycho. And Pat wants Binko to get involved, get Matt racing. Take his mind off of the poor wildebeest out there in the open plains with these two lions hunting him down. Racer Brown, 3.2 seconds. Racer Brown He's canny with his fuel. It's looking good. Over 3/4 of fuel in that tank. Bingo is just on the 3rd quarter. Matt Psycho on 3/4 as well. And Pat there 1 second ahead of him. Just over 3/4. Pat going faster than he's gone before. He's on a push. He's got a 30 on that last lap. He's got to be putting in 26s. With Binko and Matt both trading off fastest laps in the 26 region, early 26ers, 26.6 from Racer Brown, 4.5 seconds adrift of him. Here's Skyjacker on that 27.6, but we know Skyjacker likes to fuel conserve with a Jim 1.5. Oh, is Daz gone? No, Daz, sorry. It only shows you 8. I was worried then. Daz had gone. Daz is there. 1.8 seconds behind Rivixter, who's really putting a battle up to M418, M481, and Rivixter's gone for the move up the inside, and they're coming down to the corner. M4 going to try and make another move on the Rivs, but the Rivs holds his line steady. It's Toyota on Toyota action with Daz catching him up in his... Oh, Daz trying to avoid M4 as M4 gets his car back under control and Rivixter pulls away from those guys. Pat, meanwhile, 3/10 ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho has closed right down on Pat as he gets up alongside and ahead of the... What, Toyota, innit? Yes. No, Pat's still there. A thorn in Matt's side, but Matt, he's got the inside line. Pat maintaining so far. And a long shot of them both up the hill as Pat's trying to get through that corner, and Matt Psycho does it. He's up and he's into the first place, the championship leader and the reigning champion. And the round 5, race 5 leader on lap 9. 12.5 minutes into this 90-minute race. We've still got a very long time to go yet. Pat in second now with Racer Brown. Racer Brown, where has Bingo gone? Bingo at 38 last time around. He's had a bad lap, and Skyjacker has managed to get ahead of him. Oh my word, this is going to change the whole complexion of the championship. I thought IR Graham was coming. Is he in it? And I can't see him. Do you know what? There could be a chance IR Graham's out there, but I'm not sure. Because I remember them saying he was coming, and then I never remember seeing him, so I don't know if he got in. But Matt Psycho 2 seconds ahead of... Oh, Racer Brown, Pat's down into 3rd. I missed it again. I missed another one. But Racer Brown setting upon Matt Psycho. Skyjacker up into 4th with Binko slipping down into 5th. 12 seconds ahead of the Rivs. The Rivs just ahead of the Jim. Jim half a second behind Rivixter. He's gone for a move. The 2 BWT cars, the Audi v the Toyota, fighting it out there. Jim getting a lovely tow from Rivixter. M4 just staying ahead of Daz by about a second, but Daz a 30.3 his last time around. And it looks like M4 just managing a 29.5, Daz managing a 29.7. Very close lap times out there. Jim managing a 28.8 with Rivixter doing a 28.2, his fastest of the race so far. Matt Psycho leading by 1.7 seconds. He did a 27.6 last time around. Racer Brown doing a 26.6, nearly a second faster than Matt Psycho. Is Matt Psycho now trying to save a little bit of fuel at this point in the race? Now he's got the lead. Is he easing off that accelerator and trying not to burn too much fuel up as Racer Brown heads his way? Pat in 3rd place, holding strong ahead of Skyjacker, but Skyjacker is only 1 second behind. Skyjacker's last lap at 27.4. He has been super consistent in his Toyota. And here they are now, Skyjacker and Pat, the 2 Toyotas on track. There you can see the mountain in the background. What a beautiful sight there as Skyjacker gets ready to leap on the... What is it? What do they call him in Africa? What are those deers? It's not a wildebeest. That's like... I don't want to call him a wildebeest. What are them things that lions hunt in Africa on the desert? Gazelle, that's it. It's like a little gazelle, isn't he, Pat? Sorry, Pat. It's better than a wildebeest, though, isn't it? Surely. But the gazelle is not so easy to catch for Skyjacker as it rabbits off into the distance, and Skyjacker 4 tenths behind the Toyota of Pat, the Gulf liveried, amazing looking car, and Skyjacker struggling in that corner, losing a bit of time, and Binko's catching these guys up at 26.9 last time around for Binko. So the more that Skyjacker fights with Pat, it gives Binko the opportunity to close up on the two of them. He's only 1.5 seconds behind them. Rivixter still ahead of Jim, 1.5 seconds. This one's going to be about tactics, I believe. Jim's got no hybrid left in that Audi. We've seen that in earlier races. It's Audi, the build-up of the hybrid is tougher than it is for the Toyotas and the Porsches. In the chat, Flashman saying, good comeback thingy after calling Pat a wildebeest. I know, Gazelle, it's a lot nicer, isn't it? M4 then still ahead of Jam. Oh, Daz has had a big one again, a 47.6. Has he pitted? No. Oh my word. M4, he's about 8 seconds behind Jim, but he's just getting used to it. We've got to give him time. First race with us. Welcome, M4. You're doing a cracking job, lad. And Matt Psycho though, 1.9 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. These two are absolutely neck and neck. 26.724 from Matt Psycho the last time around, with Racer Brown posting a 26.7 also. There's nothing in it between these two, and they both want to be champions. Skyjacker now into third place. He's got himself ahead of Pat, with Binko only 1.6 seconds behind. Pat's lap times 28.1, 29.8. 32.1 is one you probably want to forget, but so far most of them in the 28s. Cracking stuff for Pat, keeping it nice and consistent, and that is how you stay with the pack. And he wants to get a tow from Skyjacker, stay as close to Skyjacker. Skyjacker's last lap at 28.3. He's been in the early 27s. His fuel is just under 3/4 of a tank. Matt Psycho, he's just coming up to half a tank of fuel, with Racer Brown somewhere between the 3/4 and halfway point. So Matt Psycho has burnt up a lot of fuel, more so than Racer Brown or Skyjacker. Pat also good on fuel. Binko, he's more like Matt Psycho with that fuel. Is it the Porsche maybe? The Porsche using up a lot more fuel than the Toyotas. Rivixter, yes, again another Toyota with good on fuel with Jim. The Audi, he's a little, yeah, he's just a little worse than the Toyotas on fuel, but better than the Porsches. M4 out there, he's in a Toyota and he's good on fuel. It's maybe M4 is going to pit stop his way back into this race with Daz there. He's got good lap times, except for that just 1 or 2. It's only the one really. He did a 30, but that 47 really was painful for him on lap 10. Dropping 13.5 seconds behind M4. And there he goes, a 1:28.86, straight back into those good lap times for the Porsche. And again, not used up as much fuel as Matt Psycho, but the tyres are also looking quite gnarly on some of these guys. You can see his Porsche wiggling through the corner. Matt Psycho only 1.5 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. My word, we've got a lovely little battle. They're 8 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Binko's got himself ahead of Pat, but Pat only 7/10 behind these guys, and he's got a lovely cushion of 16 seconds ahead of Rivixter in 6th. So that's a lovely haul of points if Pat can just keep the car nice and consistent and facing the right way. The Gazelle will have his day. So far though, Matt Psycho 1.5 second lead on Racer Brown. Porsche versus Toyota. We think the Porsche might be a little bit thirstier than the Toyota. And I think Matt Psycho is maintaining them 26ers. He's not eased off at all, so there's no fuel saving there. He's going for it all in as we hit up to the 20-minute mark in this race. Long time to go. Still got 70 minutes. And Matt Psycho only 1.2 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown matching Matt Psycho's lap times. We've got Binko up into third. Where is Skyjacker? My no word. So Skyjacker has dropped behind Pat, and he's already behind him. So we missed it. Phew, he says. And Skyjacker down into 5th. He was having a great race. He was there in 3rd. Solid position for Skyjacker. The damage must have been this lap. because he did a 27.8 his last time around. Now Pat up into 4th. Great stuff. Them consistent laps are working for Pat in an amazing way. And a great shot of the sun and the mountain as Pat heads down, chasing down Binko. 2.5 seconds shy of Binko, and he's got a lovely 8-second cushion from Skyjacker. Oh no, Skyjacker again, and he's ruined everything on the car. He smashed it all up as he comes through the final corner, and he's pushing. You can tell he's not happy. He's trying not to lose much time, and oh, it was barely anything, and he's gone flying into the car, into the wall, and he's shot everything on that Toyota. Poor Skyjacker. He's into the pits. Early pit stop for Skyjacker, while Matt Psycho 1.3 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. Binko 10 seconds adrift of them. It's going to be a big job Binko has to do to try and catch up that lead battle with Pat in 4th. What a race for Pat now. 18 seconds lead on Rivixter in 5th. Rivixter is 3.6 seconds on Jim. These two have both moved up a position, 5th and 6th, with Skyjacker having his issues. M4 moving up into 7th. Excuse me. He's 15 seconds behind Jim and 7.6 seconds ahead of Daz. Daz now 2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker, but Skyjacker, he's pulled the trigger on the soft tyres and he's going for a position grab. He's going to do some qualifying laps on the softs for as long as he can to maintain a high lap time while the guys are wheel issues. Oh, Skyjacker said it was wheel issues. There you go. And Matt Psycho 2.5 seconds. He's pulled some time out. Racer Brown must be having a bit of an issue out there. 28.0 from Racer Brown the last time around, with Matt Psycho doing a 27.1, nearly a second faster, and Matt Psycho on a push, maybe getting ready for a pit stop, possibly. With Racer Brown thinking of the longer game, his tyres do look like they're in a bit of a better state than Matt Psycho's. Binko in 3rd, he's pulled a second in. He was 10 seconds behind these guys, and now only 9 seconds behind Racer Brown. Well, that figures with Racer Brown doing a 28 on the last time around. We're on lap 16. And what a cracker we're having at the moment. Pat in 4th, 10 seconds behind Binko, 12 seconds ahead of Rivixter. He did a 34.4 his last time around. Come on, Pat. Keep your head on. With Rivixter, he'll be happy to see some time drop in between him and Pat, and that'll give him an extra push. 4 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim having an absolute corker out there. Lovely consistent lap times. M4 up into 7th, also quite consistent. He's done a 29.5 of his fastest. The rest of them have all been in 31s. His tyres are starting to look like he's using them at the front. Skyjacker, he's got himself ahead of Daz, but he should do, because he's on those soft tyres. He's on an absolute push at the moment. Daz might be there watching him thinking that, my friend, isn't a bad idea. And maybe Daz might follow suit, come in and get those soft tyres on, see if he can gain a position while these guys are all playing the long game. Matt Psycho, meanwhile, 2.4 seconds ahead of Racer Brown in 2nd place. And that's another second, no, half a second for Binko, getting closer, 26.9 from Racer Brown's 27.3. Racer Brown, I believe, conserving fuel. It's not far off between Matt Psycho and Racer Brown, to tell you the truth. It looked like Matt Psycho had burnt a lot more fuel than Racer Brown, but they're roughly half a tank each. Binko just under that half a tank. Pat has got the best fuel out of the lot of them. I think he'll go longer than the 3 ahead of him. Rivixter 13 seconds adrift from Pat. He's got good fuel, but his tyres are starting to look excuse me. And Rivixter, it looks like his front tyres are a bit gnarled up. Jim, 5 seconds adrift of Rivixter, a 30.6 last time around. He's got Skyjacker 17.4 seconds adrift of him. Skyjacker getting purples. He's got a purple. He's got a 26.052. The leaders will see the fastest lap come up. They will be aware Skyjacker is out there flying, and they won't know what little blue dot he is. 3 seconds now for Matt Psycho. It does seem Racer Brown is easing off that accelerator somewhat, dropping down into the 27s, giving Binko half a chance. He's pushing. Maybe the Porsches both pitting early doors, with Racer Brown staying out there in his Toyota. Pat also good on fuel. comes across the line with a 29.4. Rivixter, he's just coming up towards the line. And he does a 29.2, a little bit faster than Pat ahead of him. Jim in 6th, crosses the line with a 29.1. He's faster than the two of those. As Skyjacker flying, absolutely flying with that fastest lap. Coming up to the line. Is he going to get it into the 25s? It's going to be close. No. 26.2 for Skyjacker. 5.6 seconds ahead of M8, M4 now. He manages a 30.4. He's got Daz catching him up, who did a 29.2 his last time around. So Daz has found a bit of time in his pocket. His tyres are looking pretty gnarled. M4's a bit better than Daz's at the moment. And Matt Psycho 3.4 second lead on Racer Brown. Racer Brown getting no tow from that Porsche anymore. He's all on his own, and he's only 7.2 seconds ahead of Binko, who is also on a push right now. There is Binko coming across the line at 26.8 last time around from him, but Racer Brown, we believe, has gone into fuel save mode. It's the only thing I can think. He hasn't moved. His fuel has stayed on the halfway tank all this time. I can remember races where these guys were making half a tank last 45 minutes. We're only 26 minutes, 27 minutes into this race, and look how Fuji burns their fuel away. Unbelievable stuff. We're going to get multiple pit stops in this race. Binko in 3rd. He's pushing hard to try and catch up with a Racer Brown. Pat in 4th, doing a solid job. Look, did a 34, but since then a 28.8, 29.4, 29.6. He's keeping it lovely and consistent. Rivixter doing 29.4, 29.2, a 29.6. So Rivixter can't gain no time on Pat. It's down to fuel, and both of their fuel tanks are looking pretty similar. Maybe a Rivixter's tyres look a little bit more worn than Pat's at this point. Jim 5.5 seconds behind Rivixter in 6th place. His tyres looking a little bit mullered at the front, especially the front left one. He's got under half a tank of fuel. He's 9 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker at the moment racing for position. He got a 25.887 his last time around for Skyjacker in his Toyota TS050 Hybrid 2016. What a cracker, and he's still getting purples as he goes around. This is for position. He's racing a different race as those guys are driving around getting 27s. I mean, Matt Psycho's getting 26s on those medium tyres, which is pretty impressive. But as they're going around on their 20s, 27s, 28s, he caught it. Lovely stuff. Skyjacker. We don't want to see that other person turn up. Skyjacker in 7th, absolutely destroying it on those soft tyres, as he has to try and pull himself back into this race. Doing an absolutely stand-up job at the moment. 15 seconds, and Daz just getting past. Oh God, Daz just getting past M4, but M4 coming back at Daz. There's a battle for 8th and 9th, and there he goes. M4 back ahead of Daz. They're towing each other up the straight. They could work together and bump draft each other and maybe get themselves back in the pack, but no, they're battling it out, and Daz going for a late break up into the first corner. Can he maintain it? The car slides, and M4 is looking up the inside. It's a bit of a bang between the two of them. Oh my word, that was a bit rough. Daz, dudes. Oh, he's lifted. Fair enough. Oh, maybe Daz just lost the car. He come out of the corner. I think Daz may have lost the back end and gone into M4, and M4 now back ahead of Daz as they battle it on a little bit more. Matt Psycho has pitted. The leader has come in just under 30 minutes of racing, and Matt Psycho has come in. Wonder if the lap times of Skyjacker influenced him. He has put the soft tyres on. Maybe he saw the fastest lap coming up with Skyjacker in those late 25s, and maybe that made him a little bit nervous for track position. He's come in. He's ahead of Pat in 4th place. Pat not pitting yet. 4.7 seconds adrift of Matt Psycho. Rivixter has decided now is the time to make the pit stop. That's going to be another position for Skyjacker. Why am I? Oh, there he is. He's pressing 7th for Skyjacker, but he obviously already moved up to 6th. And all I did was click back onto Rivixter. So Skyjacker, another position. On these soft tyres, he's doing an absolute corker out there. And Rivixter in, he's coming out on the medium tyres, short-filled it to stay ahead of M4. M4 coming down the straight, just behind Rivixter. Him and Daz yet to pit. Daz's tyres looking pretty old, and you can see the leaders just ahead. There's Racer Brown, he's coming as well. Racer Brown, he seems to have a lot of fuel, but maybe he saw the soft tyres go on Matt Psycho and did not want to risk being out on track with the medium tyres. As Binko takes over the lead in those mediums, he's not scared. He says, alright, go for your softs. Matt Psycho then out there on the soft tyre. He's going to be banging in sometimes. Racer Brown still stationary. He's only just getting the fuel put in. Oh my word, that is a long pit stop. And Matt Psycho just breezes past. There's Racer Brown on the softs and he's back out onto the track. Maybe not that long of a pit stop. It just seemed like they were only just putting the fuel in. 3.6 seconds adrift of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's outlap though, a 23.6 corker. Next to what Skyjacker's outlap was a 24.4. And it looks like Skyjacker is catching up Jim on those soft tyres. This really has put the cat amongst the pigeons with these soft tyres coming in. Binko staying out there on the mediums. He's 14.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho is going to be absolutely destroying the lap records out there at the moment. Already 3/10 up on his own time, but it's not purple. Racer Brown also on those soft tyres. He's going to be on an absolute push. He fueled a little. No, him and Matt Psycho, similar fuel loads. Pat in fourth, deciding yet to pit. He's got a lot of fuel, but those tyres are pretty rough. Did a 29.6 his last time around, so he's not losing too much time on track. He's 18 seconds ahead of Jim, who's just making him. No, he's fending off Skyjacker. Skyjacker on those soft tyres, going for a move up the inside. And he makes it stick into the chicane. Jim back around the outside, but Skyjacker's got it covered in his Toyota, and he's through. And that's no, Jim's still ahead. Jim being tenacious on those old mediums, and nothing that Skyjacker can do, and that's it. Skyjacker with the grip out of the corner, but he's got to worry about the toe as they get up around onto the start straight. Meanwhile, Binko has come into the pits. He's kept the mediums. He's gone for another run on mediums. Interesting strategy. Pat goes up into third place, yet to pit. He's done a 30.5 his last time around. He's got Skyjacker hunting him down, doing a 26.1, a 29.4 that time around after having to race with Jim. Jim on track at 32.4. And Rivixter behind them at 27.8. He's also on those mediums. It looks like he's just put a new set of mediums. So when he pitted, he did not go the soft way. Daz still on his original mediums out there, just 5 seconds ahead of M4. He's opting not to pit yet. Wow, what a race. Matt Psycho just getting the fastest lap on his first flying lap on the softs with a 25.806. This is some crazy racing out there that we're witnessing. It's beautiful. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to YouTube because they like it. Means nothing to me, but YouTube really get off on it. I think it shows that you've watched it, even though they can tell you viewed it anyway. I don't know, maybe they want to know if you like it, maybe they want to know if you don't like it. You can hit a thumbs down. I'm not telling you not to. I say hit like and subscribe if you like it. If you don't like it, don't subscribe and hit a thumbs down. I can take criticism if you don't think I'm any good at this. It's fine. Pat is in the pits. Pat now in the pits. He's pulled the trigger. Skyjacker on those soft tyres. He's got nowhere near a pit stop. He's just on the start straight. So Skyjacker will take over that fourth place. And has he turned his race around? We are yet to see, but it's looking good. It's looking very good with that early pit stop onto the soft tyres. Wow. Wow. You can really dance. Wow, you can really dance. So Matt Psycho still banging out those purples. He's got a 25.8 on his ledger, but a 26.0 last time around. Racer Brown 4.1 seconds behind him. He's also on the soft tyres. He did a 25.8 his last time around. It's going to be a tricky race here, and Binko, he stayed on the mediums. He did a 25 on his outlap, which is nearly 2 seconds slower than Matt Psycho's outlap and nearly a second slower than Racer Brown's outlap. So Binko, very interesting strategy from Binko. We don't know how long the soft tyres can last. But it seems that already, I believe, Skyjack has been on him since lap, what, 14? So he's on his 10th lap on those soft tyres, and they're not looking too worn so far. He's still getting good lap times, a 25.8 last time around from him. Pat's out of the pits. He's opted to go for mediums again. He's 11 seconds ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter also on those mediums. Them two are in a hot battle there for that 5th place with Jim. He's been in, he's put some mediums on. 16.2 seconds behind Rivixter, 17.6 seconds ahead of M4. M4 and Daz just can't help but race it. Oh no, that's a lap car coming around, sorry. Daz is nearly 8 seconds behind M4. He's put the soft tyres on though, so he'll be hunting down. M4 still not pitting. He's not also getting out of the way too easily of the leaders. But Matt Psycho makes it through, and that helps Racer Brown a little bit as he heads up towards M4. Binko in 3rd. This will be helping him out at 26.2, so he's doing good lap times on those medium tyres. He's not in the 25s like these guys. A 25.6 from Mr. Psycho. Racer Brown at 26.0 his last time around. He's not enjoying the soft tyres as much as Mr. Psycho is, and there goes M4 into the pits. So he didn't really get in the way of Racer Brown. In fact, he gave Racer Brown a little tow, and Racer Brown now less than 3 seconds behind Matt Psycho. So that played into Racer Brown's hands very nicely with the back markers. And Binko 13.3 seconds behind these guys. He's going to do a 26.9 on those medium tyres, with Racer Brown doing a 26.0 and Matt Psycho doing a 28.1, but he had to get past the back marker. Skyjacker there, he's getting purples, 25.6 still. His tyres still happy as Larry to carry on. And he crosses the line at 25.9. Pat in 5th on the mediums. He opted not to go for softs yet. And we've got 52 minutes left of racing. What is going to happen? The fields, it seems spread out, but I've seen these fields before close right up again when the pits come back into play. And everyone's strategies play themselves out. Jim 15.8 seconds behind Rivixter. He has just pitted. He's put the medium tyres on. Rivixter pitted some time earlier on lap 20, it seems, with Jim pitting on lap 23. And he's just done his fastest of the lap at of the race, a 28.223, next to Rivixter doing a 27.33. So yes, Pat Rivixter on a push at the moment. Good lap time from Rivixter there, 27.331 on medium tyres. Pat at 28.2 on his mediums. Don't overdrive it, Pat. Nice and chilled in that cockpit. Find the rhythm. Don't push the car. Matt Psycho, he's flying out there. He really is. 25.5 last time around from him. He's 3 seconds ahead of a Racer Brown. It's all very close with Binko. Now 14, nearly 15 seconds behind those leaders. Will this come back to him? Will those soft tyres go off? And they will have to pit. And can Binko stay out there? Has he maintained a quick enough pace? He seems to have with the 26s. It looks like he may have maintained a good enough pace to stay, to be back in this when the pit stops arrive. Sorry, I had an itchy nose. It's really itchy on the outside, not the inside. Someone's going to tell me that's something. I'm going to get money or something. I feel like Mary, is it Mary Poppins? No, the bird from Bewitched. Keep wiggling my nose around. I'm going to start turning drinks into lemons or something. So Matt Psycho 2 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown 16 seconds, sorry, ahead of Binko. This is intriguing how it's going to go. 15 seconds behind Binko is Skyjacker. His softs still don't look like they're coming to the end of their life, and he's been on them now for a good nearly this is the 13th lap, I'm pretty sure. He's been on those soft tyres, so he's doing an immense job. He's 27.9 last time around, so he's starting to fall into the medium tyre lap time. Yeah, we'll see when he crosses the line this time. See if he's lost some edge. A 26.6, which is still faster than the mediums. 5th place there for Pat, 12.8 seconds behind Skyjacker, nearly 12 seconds ahead of Rivixter. And who's that just ahead of him? Oh, it's M4. He's lost a lot of time, and he was in the pits for a long time or something. 34 seconds behind Daz. No, it's just his pit stops putting him back there. That's very peculiar. But M4 now coming. Pat's coming across M4. 41 minutes ago, these two were fighting for the lead. But that is endurance racing, and I'm sure M4 will get up to pace. This is his first race, remember, and he was expecting to drive a Group 3 car. There is a yellow flag. I don't know what that yellow flag is. Oh my word, it's Skyjacker. It's Skyjacker. Skyjacker has had an issue. Spin it up, baby, one more time. Skyjacker, oh my lord. But that was Pat. He was a lap ahead of Pat. So the next person on track is Pat, and Pat will be wanting to get a shifty on, seeing that happening. And that might be the answer to how long the softs last. Poor Skyjacker. Mama Side saying disappointment outside nose. It's really itchy, it's strange. So Matt Psycho, 1.2 seconds. Matt Psycho's lost a honker time. Because Racer Brown's on a push. Look at that, 25.4, 25.5 his last 2 laps. At 25.8 before that, he's really closed up on Mr. Psycho. And Mr. Psycho's going to have to dig deep and find a... We know he can do the 25s. He was obviously doing a little bit of fuel saving while he can. At the same time as Racer Brown was hitting hammer time. Brown time. It doesn't work. He's getting on up. And then he's getting on down like a sex machine. And Binko, 18.2 seconds. He's losing time every lap on those medium tyres, but he has a plan. And it's going to be very interesting when it all plays out. Pat in 4th place, doing an absolute cracking job. And Skyjacker, he's got himself ahead of Skyjacker. Was that for a position? Oh, that must have been for a position, yeah. I apologise, Pat wasn't a whole lap behind him. I think that was for position. It's because I was getting confused with the whole M4 thing. So yeah, Pat got that 4th position back from Skyjacker on those medium tyres, remember, as well. So the Gazelle defeats one Lion. And he's chasing the others down. Skyjacker in 5th. Those tyres do look like they've had their best. A 150.3 lost on that lap. Shocking. Rivixter only 10 seconds behind Skyjacker now. Rivixter will be uplifted to see that time drop. And he'll be hunting. He's on the medium tyres as well. Jim on the mediums. So, if Skyjacker's story is one to show by, then the medium tyres behind him are starting to pull him back in. What does this mean for Racer Brown and Matt Psycho? Matt Psycho 7/10 ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown has really caught up the Lion. A 25.3 his last time around. Flashman in the chat saying Brown time is just wrong, mate. I know, I thought that after I said it. The minute it left my mouth, I thought, no, not Brown time. We'll not do that one. Racer time. But yes, Racer Brown actually on the tail end of Matt Psycho this race. That's 44 minutes into the race we've got. And the leaders are separated by a second. Crazy. Binko's 20 seconds behind them. But Skyjacker pitted a lot earlier than Matt Psycho and Racer Brown. And as we can see, I think he's on his 16th lap of those soft tyres. And he really, well, he got a 26.7 that last time around. He can get some lap times out of them. But maybe they're on a knife edge. It's a struggle to keep them. And Rivixter down 13.5 seconds. He didn't do a great lap himself at 34.9. Jim, 8.7 seconds behind the Rivs with a 28.1. Daz, 26.7 his last time around. He's 18 seconds adrift of the Jim. Matt Psycho, oh, Racer Brown had a wiggle on out of that corner. He's struggling now. He's asked too much of his tyres, but he's coming back. Matt Psycho, oh, it's less than a second. I thought Racer Brown had lost the back end a little bit. But I think it was the way he was taking the corner. He has lost a bit of time to Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho pulling away down the straight, where you'd think it'd be the opposite way round. And Racer Brown in the tow, coming back at Matt Psycho. Binko 20 seconds, but he's only a half a tank of fuel there. And his tyres don't even look like they're used. And there is Pat on his mediums, half a tank, just under half a tank. He's 4.1 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker doing 2:26.7, so no, he's still got life in those softs yet. It looked like it was all going away from him, but it's just Pat. He needs to get past. Pat doing a cracking job keeping that car in the 28s. And Matt Psycho 1.2 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. It's a tight battle up at the front. Binko, we haven't heard the last of Binko yet from these boys. He's kept that car in the 26s, 26 and a halves all the way through on those medium tyres, and that is no easy feat, as there is no grip on the medium tyres whatsoever. Matt Psycho's still only a second ahead of Racer Brown. What a battle these two are having. Looking from a Racer Brown's point of view, and they're coming up to lap M4. I think there's two cars there, I think. And that Psycho, he's not quite caught up with the two cars ahead. Is that Daz? No. M4 and Jim. Jim's just put a lap on M4. And here comes a Matt Psycho and Racer Brown. Is this going to affect it? Matt Psycho flashing the lights to M4 to say, get out the way, get out the way. And this is not good for Matt Psycho. He's stuck. There he goes. M4 letting him through. And will he do the same for Racer Brown? He does. Oh no, they're coming across each other though. But it's all right. And it doesn't look like a Racer Brown has lost too much time to Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho trying to get past Jim. Jim trying to let him through, and he does in the Audi. And now Racer Brown coming up to Jim, and he's got crushed in. Oh my words! Oh my words! Oh dear, it looked like M4 was trying to make a move on Jim, but he's nowhere near Jim, so it was a tough move to make. And now, oh, Jim's there, he's got going again. It's not terrible for him. He's lost a bit of time on Rivixter. It's made Daz a little bit closer, 4.5 seconds, closed them up a little bit. And M4, oh, I'm sure he wasn't meant to do that. Matt Psycho, Racer Brown now losing about a second after that little back marker issue. And he's got it all to do again, a 27.8 with Psycho doing a 27.3 on those last two laps. Binko 19.3 seconds, but he's got those back markers to face yet. Sometime down the line, Pat in a great fourth, but he's only 8/10 ahead of Skyjacker on those soft tyres. Oh no, Pat's gone wide, Pat's gone wide. Skyjacker's back up into fourth place. So Skyjacker reclaiming fourth. Pat, his tyres look okay. I think it might have just been a bit of a throttle on, and he lost the car a little bit. But now he's sitting behind Skyjacker. Oh, he's lost. See, he loses downforce when you sit behind him through that hard, twisty bit. So it's hard to maintain around that final corner to stay in their tow. And Skyjacker up to fourth, 1.2 seconds ahead of Pat. Pat is 18 seconds, 17.5 seconds ahead of the Rivs. The Rivs is doing some cracking lap times, 28.9, 28.6, 29.7 on those medium tyres. Pat, a 30.7 his last time around, so it's not over and done with 40 minutes left of racing. A Rivixter coming back at Pat. Jim also, it's not over yet. It might be 19.5 seconds behind Rivixter. He's only 2 seconds ahead of Daz, and I think we've lost M4. Oh, it's a shame, man. It was a difficult position to be put into, though, I'm afraid. When you thought you're turning up to a Group 3 race, and then you have to jump into a Group 1 car. Try and get used to it. It's a big ask. Fair play to the guy. We appreciate the effort, and Sorry if it didn't work out. Matt Psycho though, second. Racer Brown's pulled that time back to a second. Binko third, 20 seconds adrift from Racer Brown, 42 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker only a second ahead of Pat on those medium tyres when Skyjacker's tyres are going, which they're starting to look very much like they are doing. Pat, he's coming back at Skyjacker. Skyjacker's tyres are falling off. Is he going to go in? He's been on them for nearly 20 laps. And there he goes, Skyjacker going in. He cannot put the softs back on. He's got to put mediums. And Pat, he's not used the mediums yet, so... I mean the softs yet, so he gets a chance at using them. Meanwhile, Matt Psycho only half a second ahead of Racer Brown. What a fight. Malcolm in the chat saying, thanks for the race, guys. I do not want to get in the way, so we'll retire her. Oh, all right, Malk. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. It was a difficult position to be in, wasn't it? Being in a Group 3 race and then you had to jump in the Group 1s. We fully appreciate. That was a tough one to ask for. We appreciate you giving it a good go. Thank you ever so much. No stress, no worries from here, man. So Matt Psycho 1 second ahead of Racer Brown, 20 seconds ahead of a Binko, but Binko has not used those soft tyres. And this battle rages on for the lead. 52 minutes into the race, and still the leaders are separated by less than a second. That's unbelievable stuff. Third place, 21 seconds down the road, but he has not used the soft tyres. He's going to stay out a lot longer than the two ahead of him. Pat is up into fourth. And Rivixter's up into fifth. Skyjacker came out of the pits on his medium tyres behind the Rivs. 5 seconds behind Rivix. Oh, what's Rivixter doing? He's slowing down for the leaders. There you go. But that's not going to help him with Skyjacker. Skyjacker's flying up to the back of him. Poor Rivs. He had to slow down to let the leaders through, and now he's got to defend from Skyjacker. Skyjacker on them fresher medium tyres. This is absolutely cracking stuff. And Rivixter's got to fight for his life. Toyota v Toyota. And I want to look at the leaders because they're so close together. Racer Brown, Bingo in third, Pat fourth, and here you go, fifth and sixth fighting it out. Jim's only 15 seconds behind these guys. If they keep battling, then Jim will catch them up in no time. But Skyjacker, he's going for the move early, late on the brakes into the first corner, and Rivixter, there's nothing he can do to defend from that late braking on those fresher rubber medium racing tyres. Jim, meanwhile, 16.2 seconds, a 28.9 last time around for Jim. And he's got Daz only 1.4 seconds behind him. Daz doing a 28.1, and they've got Binko coming through. Jim at 28.9, very close between them guys, and they're pulling in Rivixter, I'm sure. 32.9 last time around for Rivixter, where he slowed down for the leaders, and Skyjacker managing to just edge ahead of him, but he's 23 seconds behind Pat, and it's all down to when Pat pits. Really a 27.6 for Pat last time around on those medium tyres. Pat is on absolute fire here at Fuji. Come on, Pat. Matt Psycho. I nearly got your name right, Malcolm. I called you Max. But Matt Psycho, he's out there 1.2 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. It's a question of when these guys are gonna pit. Less than a quarter of fuel for Matt Psycho on his car, and his front left is looking pretty gnarled. Racer Brown, 1.5 seconds adrift. He's got a good amount of fuel in there, just under half a tank of fuel. And his tyres not looking quite as used as Matt Psycho's. Binko, absolutely. Well, he's got about a similar fuel tank to Racer Brown. He's coming up to lap Jim and Daz, who are in a battle at the moment themselves on the track. So Daz, 3/10 behind Jim. We should get on board Binko's car for this, shouldn't we? There we go. You can see the two battling. Nothing a leader wants to see more than two cars he's meant to be lapping in an absolute battle in front of him. This is going to be a tough one, but there you go. Daz letting him through. And now Binko just needs to get himself past Jim. Jim and Daz can go back to having a race. There's Jim, and there goes Binko coming through. Nice and tidy. Well done, Jim. Lovely stuff from Jim and Daz. But Daz trying to find an opportunity there. Jim trying to get back on the accelerator as they let the leader through. And now it's racing resumed. It's like when you played Curbsy as a kid and you just all stop to let the cars go past. And then it's back again. And Jim just ahead of Daz. Oh, what a battle we can see here. Oh, I've lost my in-car for some reason. There we go. So sat on board with Daz, car 51. The Porsche versus the Audi of Jim. 2/10. We're in the tow, but that Audi is blooming fast in a straight line. And it doesn't look like, oh, and Daz's fuel is low and he's gone for the late break as Daz. Has he made it stick? Jim trying to come back. But Jim, I think patience will prevail. His fuel is a lot higher than Daz's. Daz is going to have to pit soon. And Daz is on those soft tyres. Daz having a great comeback on those soft tyres. Quite far back. He's caught up Jim. He's only 8 seconds adrift of Skyjack. Skyjacker must have pitted. He did. We saw him pit. He's come in. He's put the medium tyres on. He's put him behind Rivixter. 6.7 seconds behind the Rivs. The Rivs is low on fuel though. He's going to have to be in the pits himself very soon. And he's 27 seconds adrift of Pat. Pat still doing okay with fuel, quarter of a tank of fuel. Binko there, he's got about quarter of a tank of fuel in third place, 23 seconds adrift of Racer Brown. Racer Brown in second spot. His soft tyres are absolutely mullered. He's just over a quarter of a tank of fuel and 1.3 seconds adrift of the leader. That is Matt Psycho. He's not in the red yet, but he's virtually on fumes. His tyres are screaming for help, but he's still leading this race on lap 40. 57.5 minutes into the race, 32 minutes to go. What a cracker we have had. We haven't had minutes respite. We haven't had a second's break this whole hour. What a race. Round 5 of the HPEC Season 3. And our championship, our reigning champion, our championship leader and a race leader, Matt Psycho, is showing us a masterclass on how to stay in the lead, with Racer Brown and Binko both applying maximum pressure. We haven't seen Binko's pressure yet. We're going to see it at the end of this race when he does his soft tyre stint, if he chooses to do a soft tyre stint. But I believe his fuel means he will be in before the end of the race. Pat in 4th place, doing an absolute corker of a job. 28 seconds ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter 3.5 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker on a push after his pit stop. Fresh tyres. He'll be wanting to try and catch up Pat and Rivixter and try and claim 4th in this race. That's what that soft stint did for him. But remember, Pat and Rivixter, neither have done their soft stint. Yeah, oh, Pat nearly losing the car. Keep it under control, Pat. Keep it under control. Awesome. Thank you. Well done, Pat. Cracky stuff. Jesus, wet. And Rivixter, he needs a fuel in. He's gone round again. He's ignored that fuel tank. He thinks, no, I'm good to go. And he's 1.6 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Daz, 10 seconds adrift of Skyjacker, 2.5 seconds adrift of Jim. It's Daz that needs a pit stop as well. So Jim just has to sit tight and Daz will be in. Let's get rid of those soft tyres and put some mediums on. So that means Jim hasn't run the soft tyre yet also. He's leaving it to the end of the race. Oh, did he just lose it? No. Matt Psycho 1.5 seconds ahead of Racer Brown. What a race these two have had. The fuel is virtually empty on Mr. Psycho's car. And Racer Brown, he's still got a nice fair whack in there. Will he pit at the same time and take a shorter pit stop with less fuel than Matt Psycho has to do? Or will he stay out a bit longer? The tyre wear looks exactly the same on these cars. Matt Psycho's fuel is screaming out though, but he's going around again. My word, he's rinsing that fuel tank for everything it's worth. Binko, 24.7 seconds adrift. He's kept in those 26s all the way through this. Looked like he had a bit of a shaky lap on 38 and 39 in the 28s and the 27s. But on a whole, he's managed to keep in the 26s on those medium tyres. That is a tough ask. He's 54 seconds. And Rivixter's in. He's in, so that's going to be good for Daz. Daz also going in. Yes, he's on no fuel. Jim's going to move up 2 places. Great stuff for Jim, but he will have to pit. And we suppose Rivixter's going to put the soft tyre on. Daz is going to have to put the medium tyre on. And Jim, that puts him 15 seconds behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker, we think, has made his final pit stop, and that's it, him till the end of the race. He's trying to catch up Pat, who we believe will have to pit again. 26.3 seconds. It's going to be very tight between Pat and Skyjacker. Jim also, we believe, is going to have to pit again before the end of the race. There comes Rivixter. He's out just over half tank, and he's opted to go for mediums again. He's not using softs at all. And there is Daz. He's put his mediums on. He's put in a lot more fuel than Rivixter. Is he in a Porsche? Because the Porsches do use a lot more fuel up than the Toyota. There you go. Sorry, double pressed. Catch our breath a second before we crack on again. Matt Psycho and Racer Brown both in. This is what I said. Will Racer Brown come in and short fuel a little bit? Will not have to put in as much fuel as Matt Psycho. Is this race going to come back to Binko? He's still got plenty of fuel on him. His car, his Porsche. And he's on the medium tyres. Is he going to run a little longer? He is. Is he going to be able to get out? They're both fueling at the moment are Racer Brown and Matt Psycho, but I think Racer Brown's going to pit less time than Matt Psycho. No one's moving yet. There's a... Yes, Racer Brown's moving before Matt Psycho. That is how he's done it. He's done it. He's short filled. Well, not short filled, but he didn't have to put in as much fuel as Matt Psycho. He's gone for the mediums, as has Matt Psycho. And Bingo has taken the lead of this race by 3.4 seconds. But remember, when he pits, he can put the soft tyres on. And he'll be a lot faster than Racer Brown, who his pit crew, really... It's not down to Racer Brown, that one. That's got to be handed over to the Toyota pit crew. Has turned it around next to the Porsche pit crew, and he's got Racer Brown out ahead of Matt Psycho, our championship leader, our reigning champion, and he was our race leader. That has been handed over to Binko, but can Binko get that fuel to go to the end? I doubt it. Not if Racer Brown and Matt Psycho are putting in 3/4 of a tank of fuel. 27 minutes left of racing. Racer Pat, 51 seconds adrift of these guys. Still not looking at a pit stop. 24 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker's 17 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim might have to do a pit before the end. And there is Rivixter. He's getting some purples. Oh no, it's 4/10 down, but he looked purple next to his name. On those medium tyres, fresh medium tyres, 11 seconds ahead of Daz. These two will be waiting to see what Jim does, or if Spinjacker comes back. And Binko in the lead of this race, still not going in, and there's Racer Brown trying to break the toe of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho coming back at the Toyota. Lap 44. We are 1 hour and virtually 4 minutes, well, just over 1 hour and 3.5 minutes into this race. And your leaders are covered by 5 seconds, the top 3. Granted, Binko has to pit. Imagine pitting, well, you don't want to pit too early on those softs, I guess. But these guys had a good run on those soft tyres for a while, as did Skyjacker. So if Binko did want to pit, he's there, you can see him up ahead. Racer Brown and Psycho on a lot fresher mediums than Binko. Will be hunting him down. Pat still in that 4th place, 22 seconds. He did a 1:29.0 his last time around. Pat on an extraordinary rate pace, with a Skyjacker doing a 26.9 on the medium tyres. That's good. That's fast on medium tyres, I can tell you. In his Toyota, he comes up to the line and he's a 27.5 that time around with Pat, managing a 29.0. So Skyjacker will catch Pat up, and Pat's low on fuel, so he's going to come in, but I don't think I don't think Pat's used the soft tyres, so he may be around about 10 seconds behind Skyjacker, but he'll be on the faster tyres. Jim, 20 seconds adrift off Skyjacker. He's gone into the pits now. This is what Rivixter and Daz needed in this race. Where will Rivixter come out? Jim come out next to these other two. There's Rivixter up the start straight, so Rivixter grabs that 6th place back. It was Daz and Jim that was caught in a battle. The tyres are off, the Michelins are on, the fuel is going in. Daz is on the start straight, Jim still fueling, and Daz, it says he's gone through, he's gone over the line, he's not got past the pit exit yet. There goes Jim. Jim is showing him in 7th, but Daz coming down the pit lane very fast. They've hit the first corner at the same time. Daz only just getting ahead of Jim in 8th place. Jim's got the soft tyres on though, so Jim is coming back at the Daz, and the Daz is going to have to do a little bit of defensive driving against a very fast Audi on racing soft tyres. Let's get on board with the wrong guy. Is he already gone past? My word, and I've just messed up my in-car. Hang on. So Jim already up past Daz. Cracking stuff. Binko is in the pits. Binko has gone in the pits, so Racer Brown, for the first time, is leading this race. 1 hour and 6 minutes 30 seconds virtually into it, and Racer Brown takes the lead. Matt Psycho in 2nd place, only 1.1 seconds behind. What a race these two have had. Binko, is he going to go for the soft tyre? Is he going to go for some qualifying laps? Is he going to hunt him down? He's on the soft tyre, he's got half a tank of fuel on, and this is it. Race on. Binko is the lion. And now Matt Psycho and Racer Brown have become the Gazelles. Can Binko do it with only 23 minutes remaining in this 90-minute race? It's a tall order. He's 22 seconds adrift and 23 seconds adrift of Racer Brown. Pat there, he's gone fumes, but he's gone past the pit lane, so he's got another lap in that car. 19 seconds now is Skyjacker, 26.9, we saw that one. 28.1, Pat's still getting great lap times from that car. And Skyjacker coming up towards the line to post a 27.6. Pat a 28.1, so on that fresher rubber. Skyjacker not pulling in Pat fast enough, but Pat will have to put him behind Skyjacker, but Pat has not used the soft tyres yet, which will make Skyjacker vulnerable. Rivixter in 6th, 36 seconds adrift of Skyjacker and some 13 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim on those soft tyres though, in the same position as Binko. If he gets his head down and gets some really cracking lap times in, he's got Daz 1.4 seconds behind him on those medium tyres. It's going to be tough for Daz to stay with Jim. Meanwhile, Racer Brown is still leading by 1.5 seconds. Matt Psycho in 2nd place. Binko in 3rd. 21.2 seconds adrift of those guys, but he's on the racing soft tyres. He is going to be doing some phenomenal lap times to try and draw them two in by the end of this race. What a nail biter. What a cracker. What a race. 1.9 seconds for Racer Brown now. Matt Psycho just waiting. There goes Pat. Pat is in, so Skyjacker should take that 4th place. But has he gone fast enough? He needs a nice buffer before Pat comes out. Pat just pulling up to his box. They're getting the wheels off. Another lovely set of Michis go on to that Toyota. Sorry. And there is Skyjacker up past the end of the pit lane and up into 4th place with his stint on the softs earlier after crashing into the wall. And Pat back out onto the track, 9.2 seconds behind. He's just got the leaders, have gone past him, I believe. Racer Brown and Matt Psycho. Binko 19 seconds. He's done a 24.9. A 24.9. We haven't seen anyone in the 24s, and there goes Binko. This is it. Race on, boys. Run, Gazelles, run. Skyjacker in 4th place. He's got Pat 10 seconds behind him. That's a smaller mountain than Binko's is Pat's. But it's Pat's mountain to climb. Can he do it? Come on, Pat. Go get the Skyjacker. Racer Brown maintaining that lead so far at 26.3. His last time around, 1.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. It's lap 48. And we've got less than 20 minutes of racing to go here at Fuji for round 5 of the HPEC Season 3. What a cracker. Matt Psycho led for a majority of this race. He's trying to grab a toe from Racer Brown. Binko 18.5 seconds. The time is dropping every corner. Look at that, 18 seconds. He's really 18.2. He's really trying to catch those guys up. He would love a toe at the moment, I imagine. As he comes up to the line, what lap time is going to be in the 25s this time at 25.1. Still a lot faster than the boys ahead of him. 26.8 from Racer Brown. Matt Psycho 26.2. Oh my word. 18 seconds behind is now Binko. Skyjacker 8.5 seconds ahead of Pat on a push, remember, on those soft tyres. He wants to try and get up behind Matt Psycho and grab a bit of a toe with him to help him catch up Skyjacker. And Skyjacker getting the blue flags also, so he's going to have to ease off. Come on, Pat, push, push, push. I'm your man in your ear on the radio saying, Pat, push, 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 push. Skyjacker's got to slow down for the leaders. He's on the medium tyres. Did a 27.6 his last time around. Racer Brown then. Have they already got past Skyjacker? I don't think so, have they? I saw Skyjacker getting the blue flags. Yeah, he's on the straight, so they've not got past him yet. So Racer Brown, 1.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Binko, another second virtually, 17.3 seconds behind these guys. Is nail biting stuff. 8, just under 18 minutes to go, and Binko absolutely tearing up the road. Skyjacker 8.5 seconds ahead of Pat. He's got to maintain a pace. Pat is usually in the 27.0 for Pat. Pat is on a push. Rivixter in 6th. He's 9.5 seconds ahead of Jim on those soft tyres. Jim did a 27.7 his last time around. Rivixter doing a 27.9. So Jim's got to up that pace in that Audi. But the Audi, it doesn't refill its blooming its hybrid very well. Battery. And Daz 4.2 seconds behind Jim in this race on those medium tyres. He's going to hope Jim's tyres go off before the end of this race so he can come back at him. Racer Brown then 2.1 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho maybe easing off a little bit, trying to make that fuel in that Porsche. We know that Porsche is rather thirsty. 2.5 seconds, but he can't hang around because he's got another Porsche. He's chasing them down. 16 seconds, that's another second off of that lead that Matt Psycho's got on Binko. Skyjacker is less than 8 seconds now. Pat towing in. Skyjacker like no one's business. Pat crossing the line doing a 26.8. Skyjacker managing a 27.4. It's down to 7.8 seconds. Pat on a push. And Skyjacker, the roles are reversed. Skyjacker is the hunted and Pat is the hunter. Rivixter in 6th place, 33.5 seconds behind Pat and 9 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim on those soft tyres though, on an absolute push in that Audi. And Daz clinging on in their medium tyres behind. 2.5 seconds then, Racer Brown from Matt Psycho in 2nd place. It's 14.5 seconds back to Binko. 15.5 minutes left of racing, and there you can see Pat in the distance there. He's not dropped. He's not dropped off of Matt Psycho. He's staying behind him quite closely. Good stuff, Pat. Come on, you can do it. 7.5 seconds behind Skyjacker now. The leader's not quite catching up with Skyjacker as quick as... Oh, no, 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 Pat, keep it, keep it, keep it. There you go, Pat, well done. Come on, Pat. Onwards and upwards, another lap. Sorry, Sky, come on, it's Pat, man. He's having a cracker of a race. Skyjacker also 27.1 his last time around. He's pulled it up to about 8 seconds, but he's getting those blue flags. 27.2 for Pat last time around after that little wiggle coming out the final corner. Racer Brown 2.3 seconds. You don't think it's over between him and Matt. Matt doing a 26.8 last time on those medium tyres. Racer Brown doing a 26.5. What is going to happen with the lead of this race? 13.5 seconds behind them is a Binko on those softs, ripping up the tarmac, chasing them down. Skyjacker, he's trying to stay ahead of the soft tyre cladded Pat in his Toyota, and he's got the leaders coming up to him. He can't affect the lead of this race, but he does not want to lose time to Pat. He's maintaining that 8 seconds between him and 5th place. 4th place for Skyjacker. He's doing well in the championship. That'll be great points haulage for the Monster driver. Yes, Monster driver. And there he goes, crossing the line for a 27.1. Great lap time from a Skyjacker on those medium tyres. Pat coming up to the line. Has he already posted it? No, at 27.3. So Pat at this point on those soft tyres a little bit slower than Skyjacker. He's got to try and dig deep without throwing the car off, obviously. Racer Brown 2.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. And that Toyota looking like it suited Fuji a little bit better than the Porsche. The Porsche a little thirstier than the Toyota around here. At the foot of the mountain, a Binko in 3rd, 24.9 last time around from him. It's now only 11.1 seconds with 13 minutes to go. Gordon Bennett, core blimey gov. Oh my God. What's going to happen? 10 seconds. A Racer Brown leading 3.4 seconds now. He's pulling away from Mr. Psycho. Mr. Psycho, I think, might be concerned with fuel. I'm not sure what's going on in that car. The other Porsche absolutely ripping up the tarmac, chasing them down. Skyjacker 7.4 seconds ahead of Pat. Pat pulling him in now. But is it too late? Just over 12 minutes left of racing. Skyjacker getting those blue flags. He's going to have to pull over in a corner soon enough. And it's back up to 8 seconds between him and Pat. It's seesawing. Pat doing another 27.2, while Skyjacker also managing a 27.3 on those medium tyres. Come on, Pat, you can do it. Got to get those 26s. You've got a 26.8. You're on lap 49. Find that pace. Don't push. Skyjacker still ahead of the 2 leaders. Racer Brown getting ever closer, and Skyjacker will have to yield unless he's giving a Racer Brown a tow. They both have VRC at the front of their name. They're cheeky little monkeys, you never know. 27.3 for Skyjacker last time around. A 26.5 note. There you go. He's been released, and what does that cost Skyjacker in relation to Pat? But Pat's had a mistake. I'm pretty sure Pat, I know he's getting blue flags as well. Maybe he's letting someone by, but it looked like Pat was going slow out that corner, and it's still at 8 seconds, even though Skyjacker had to pull over and let a Racer Brown through. And he's still getting blue flags because Matt Psycho some 3.2 seconds behind Racer Brown. Matt Psycho just couldn't keep up the pace of that Toyota come the end of this race. Racer Brown crosses the line to start lap 55. This is some crazy racing going on here. This is great stuff. This is endurance, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know what endurance racing looks like, then there you go. 8.8 seconds for Binko. 25.4 his last time around. His Racing Soft still not showing any kind of wear. Skyjacker 7.3 seconds ahead of Pat. Looks like he's going to have to let Matt Psycho through soon. And Pat at 28.1 his last time around. He's got to really dig deep, Pat, in these last 10 minutes if he wants to catch up Skyjacker. 7.4 seconds. Bunting in the chat, gutted I missed this. The other half was dragging her feet and didn't get back in time. Sorry guys, no worries my friend. You would have been made to drive a Group 1 car anyway. Because the Group 3 cars, there was only one poor chap turned up. So Racer Brown 3.8 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 7.8 seconds ahead of Binko. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Binko is really pulling these guys in. Skyjacker so 8 seconds ahead of Pat, but he's gonna have to pull over for Matt Psycho at some point, although Matt Psycho's still quite a way back from the Toyota driver. And Pat's really got to dig deep as well, but he's just letting Binko through. He's probably going to jump on the rear of Binko and grab a toe. Go on, Pat, get that toe. Oh, he's wiggling over the curbs. 9.9 seconds behind, 10 seconds behind Skyjacker. It's cost him time letting Binko through. And Binko getting ever closer, 7.5 seconds now to Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 3.5 seconds away from Racer Brown. Racer Brown looks like this one's all tied up, 9 minutes to go. And the car, 86 Canon livery Toyota TS030 Hybrid 2012, shining bright here at Fuji. Matt Psycho owned most of this race, remember. Just, I think Racer Brown saved a little bit more fuel. That was as simple as it was on that last pit stop. The Racer Brown had more fuel. I think the Toyota uses less than the Porsche around here at Fuji, and that gave, oh, now there goes Skyjacker. He's having to yield for second place, but he's still 10 seconds ahead of Pat. All good, all gravy. And that means the top three have almost lapped the field. That's crazy. That's crazy pace out there, guys. Congratulations, super stuff. I don't know if you can hear my wife screaming at the kids. That sounds like it's sort of fun for when I come off the let's race for another hour, guys, eh? 7 minutes left of racing. Let's do another hour. I can avoid the horror show that's going on upstairs. Must be bath time. Back to school tomorrow. The teenager might have to clean himself. So Racer Brown 3.5 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 6.2 seconds ahead of Binko. I'm pretty sure Binko can, no, he can't quite see Matt Psycho yet, but it's getting ever closer. Crazy racing for the top three. Skyjacker is back to that 8 seconds ahead of Pat. Oh my word, and Skyjacker's going to get lapped by Binko soon, so he might have to pull over, but Pat, I don't think. He's still got good tyres. Come on, Pat, come on, Pat, come on, Pat. Rivixter, we haven't looked down here for a while. Rivixter is 12 seconds ahead of Daz. Oh, Jim's ended up back for some reason. Maybe those tyres scuffed up a little bit. 23.9 seconds behind Daz, so I don't know what happened to Jim. Lost a bit of time there, it looks like, on lap 50 and lap 51. And Daz moving forward on those medium tyres. It looked like he was left for dust, but just staying consistent has got him through. Rivixter 12 seconds ahead of Daz. I don't think there's anything Daz is going to be able to do about it now. Bunting says the teenager might have to clean himself. Laugh, 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 laugh. So Racer Brown 3.3 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, 5 seconds ahead of third place Binko, and it's going to be tight for this last 6 minutes. I don't think Binko's going to be able to do it. Is he 4.8 seconds? I don't know. Can Matt Psycho up his pace at the end here to try and hunt down Racer Brown? They've got the fuel now, surely, for the last sort of 3-4 laps we've got going. Wow, it's going to be over 60 odd laps this race. This is some crazy racing, this endurance stuff. This HPEC season, going from an hour to an hour and a half, really does sort of edge it out there to be some spectacular racing. But Racer Brown looks like he's extending that lead. 3.9 seconds from Matt Psycho. Racer Brown did a 26.8 his last time around. Matt Psycho did a 26.7. There's nothing in it between the pit times. 3.7 seconds now from Binko. Let's get on board with Binko, because this is extraordinary stuff as Binko hunts these guys down. We knew it was going to be a grand finale with Binko on those soft tyres. But you can see Matt Psycho, that Skyjacker, just ahead of us. We're going to put a lap on him. That Toyota looking like it edges it a little bit down the straights from Binko. Pulled away, didn't it, coming out the corner. And Skyjacker getting way out the way there. He doesn't want any of that. He's probably rather excited to watch the stream back, thinking, oh, look at that. Top three have all overtaken me, and they're all very close together. 5.5 seconds, 5.5 seconds. Pat, it's 5.5 seconds, brother. Come on, Pat. 5.3 seconds. 4 minutes to go. You can do it. Skyjacker at 28.5 last time around. Pat at 28.1. Racer Brown is 3.6 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho doing a 26.9 his last around, and Racer Brown doing a 26.7. Bingo doing a 25.2. Oh my word, it's going to be like lambs to the slaughter. There's only 2 seconds in it. And here comes Bingo on his softs. He's worn them a little bit though. 4 minutes left, just under 4 minutes left of this race to go. And my word, Bingo is 6 seconds off the lead and 1.5 seconds off of Matt Psycho in his Porsche. This is some crazy racing. Matt Skyjacker is just 5 seconds ahead of Pat. Pat on those soft tyres, pushing with all his might to try and get that 4th place from Skyjacker, whilst Racer Brown leads 3.7 seconds. We're on lap 60. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left of racing. Matt still in 2nd place ahead of Bingo. 1.6 seconds. The soft tired Porsche relentless liveried car is hunting, and it's hunting something that's purple, blue and white. Is Racer Brown safe? Is this win his? Can he stay out of the reach of Binko? Binko catching up Matt Psycho. Racer Brown will be hoping. Oh, Binko's fuel is just now. We've seen him do a few laps with their fuel in the red. We think we're all right. Flashman saying go Pat. 5.5 seconds. He just can't do it. He did a 26.9 his last time around, and a 26.3 before that. Pat on an absolute push. Skyjacker at 28.6, a 28.5. Skyjacker, he's losing pace. Pat is pushing. With 2.5 minutes left of racing, and there's 4.3 seconds in between Pat and Skyjacker. Binko, he's only 7/10 behind Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's tyres are giving up on him. Something's given up in that Porsche, and Matt Psycho is he's driving around trying to maintain that 2nd place, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure. And Racer Brown with that buffer of Matt, hoping to be able to stay out of Binko's reach. Bunting saying Pat on a big push. I love it. I love the big push. Always say they're on a big push if you don't know what else to say. Skyjacker 4.5 seconds. Pat said 27.8 last time around. Skyjacker at 28.5. So Skyjacker just can't get any closer to those early 28s as he was getting earlier, and Pat is in the 27s, 4.2 seconds. But Binko is 8/10 behind Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho has got to do some very defensive driving against the 2nd Porsche driver of Binko. My crazy lord, this is some race. Binko on fumes, making his way around. There's only 1 minute and 10, so the next time these guys cross the line, will they cross the line in time? I imagine they will. I'll imagine they cross the line in time to start another lap, but that will be their final lap. It's getting very close to Matt Psycho. 3/10 for Binko, and I imagine 3rd place will not do. He's in the tow. Matt Psycho trying to break the tow as they come down towards the 1st corner. There you see 30 seconds left of this race. We're going to start seeing some people finishing. And Bingo's done it round the outside. Oh, no, no, no. Bingo's lost the back end. Oh, no. Bingo asked too much for the tyres. And what an absolute heartbreak for Bingo. All that work. All of that work. But well done. Cracking little go right near the end. Now we're getting... Hang on. I believe Rivixter will be the first to cross the line. Coming around the very final corner. The timer has run out, I'm pretty sure. It has. Here comes Rivixter to finish in 6th place. Good points for Rivixter. Solid race. Cracking stuff as he comes up towards the line. And he takes 6th. Daz not that far behind in the end, in 7th on those medium tyres. And Daz grabs 7th with Jim. Ooh, Jim's a little further away. We've got to go back to the leaders. As here comes a Racer Brown up along the straight. He's having a victory wiggle. As is Matt in the background. There he goes. Racer Brown takes the win. Matt Psycho, a hard force. 2nd place there for the Porsche driver. And Binko, they're all doing it. They're loving it. They're happy to get to the end of the race. And Binko, Bingo, Skyjack finishing 4th. Binko taking 3rd. Take Boo My Son. Pat grabbing a great 5th in the end. And Jim coming across the line in his Audi. It was a tough job for him in that Audi. It just doesn't want to fill its hybrid up. In 8th place. So, wow, what a race. There you go. Racer Brown takes the win. Unbelievable. There he is. Super stuff. And Racer Brown takes the win in what looked like a Jensen Button helmet replica. And we'll go up. Oh, Matt Psycho actually tagged me and put a little Y. Down with the rebel scum. I'm glad you came 2nd now, Matt. I'm joking. I'm just glad it was a good race. I don't care about positions. So, Racer Brown takes your win for round 5, race 5 of the HPEC Season 3. And wow, what a cracker we had. What an awesome race that turned out to be. Matt Psycho in 2nd, I imagine. Well, the win, he led for so long. But if he watches this back, he will see that Toyota was just too good on fuel today. Binko in 3rd. He got to the back of Matt Psycho, but the tyres just let him down as he tried to make a move. And he dropped back a little bit, but still a fantastic podium for Binko. Take a boo, my son. Skyjacker maintaining that 4th place. It looked like he was out. Really early on, he put the soft tyres on. He did some manic lap times, and he slowly dragged himself back through the pack and got himself 4th position. Pat in 5th. Absolutely dynamite today from Pat. Consistency is key, and Pat was uber consistent. Cracking race. Rivixter in 6th place, ahead of Daz and Jim. I don't know what happened to Jim. I think he was attacking Rivixter and he ended up behind Daz, but that Audi R18 is an absolute monster to drive. Binko got your fastest lap with a 1:24.843. That is crazy fast, I tell thee, on lap 50. I didn't see anything, so that was rubbish. Right, in the chats then. Skyjacker says, wow, great race, Pat. Thumbs up. Pat saying, wow. Binko saying, pushed by hell I pushed. He looked like it, man. It was great. Mama Syke saying, that was great, guys. Cheers thingy. My pleasure, always. Pat also saying, that felt so good. Great racing there, Pat. And Bunting saying, smashed it, lads. Yes, that was it. So, fantastic. I can't get out. I'm buzzing from it. Right then. Don't forget to visit our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, where you'll see the tables get updated midweek. They have 24 hours to submit any issues that they had in the race. Stewards will have a look at. So usually around Tuesday, Wednesday time, the table gets released and the stewards report. But it didn't look like there was that much going on in that race to have stewards' involvement. In the chat still, Matt Sykes saying amazing race, and Pat saying a great race that could have been so different when I nearly wiped out Matt at the little fiddly chicane. The lap he passed me. Ooh, you don't want to do that. Right, so what was I telling you about? That's everything. Yeah, so Monday night we're streaming the replays of the Clio Cup. Please join me so I don't feel like a loner talking to my telly on my own. Tuesday night we've got the Porsche Sprint Trophy live streamed. That is a cracking little championship, high octane racing all the way through. Wednesday you can have a rest. Thursday we're back with the WRX Challenge. I can't tell you what track they're at. I should write these things down beforehand. But yes, the little Subaru Isle of Man TTs. They're racing somewhere for their third round, and they are absolutely cracking. And then, what is it? Friday, the Max 5s are back. We had round 1 at Goodwood, and what a cracking little round we had as well. So, join us on Friday evening for the live stream of the Max 5s. And then that brings us back to Sunday next week, where we can see these beautiful Group 1 cars battling it out at... No, my favourite. Interlagos, baby. Don't miss us next Sunday. Right, I'm going to wrap this up because I know that Skyjacker needs to get off and watch Poldark. So, thank you for joining us. I was your commentator and your broadcaster, Leotard. Thank you for watching. Bye.